Music, since I was in middle school or since I started drumming, has been a really significant part of my life, and it's been the only reason that I was able to get through a lot of parts of it. But I'm aware that music education, there's a lot of barriers to entry that things like sports or drawing don't really have, because in sports and drawing, you can just go up to a piece of paper and draw, and like you'll be able to create something, right? And if you go play sports with an instrument, like you don't know what to do with it unless you pay a lot of money for someone to teach you how, basically. That's one like barrier to entry that I knew would stop people from getting into music, which I thought was really sad. So I wanted to make it more accessible to people of all ages, hopefully, who were at a beginner's skill level. I was like, okay, but how do you do that? Like, what person is willing to do something for little to no pay? And the answer to that is always high schoolers, right? Teenagers who love to volunteer. And so I look around me, I'm like, all these talented musicians, these really good people who would love to like help kids experience the joy of music. And that's why I started it, basically. Meeting demand, because of like the fact that I was not paying people, I couldn't really have high expectations necessarily, which was understandable. I mean, high school's like, you have a lot to do. Like, I had a lot to do. I definitely had things that were inhibiting me from giving as my full attention to Notelove. So I couldn't just always be asking people to take lessons. And then for the more popular instruments, it got really backed up, and it was really hard to tell people, like, sorry, we don't have enough instructors. That was probably the biggest one, is that, like, achieving the vision that I had. Performance opportunities, definitely. I think that that's like a huge part of music, is performing, especially with a group of people in an ensemble. And I had plans for that, but we didn't have enough signups, and we didn't have the right instrument variety, so unfortunately that couldn't happen. Be prepared to hit a lot of obstacles and to do a lot of work that might not end up being anything, right? Like I remember one thing I did was I spent a ton of time emailing people, and I got almost 0 emails and replies, and I like spent a ton of time researching the music. Yeah, Jane was helping me do this, researching the music programs and sending them these emails, and we got very little replies or people telling us we're not interested. So yeah, just be prepared for setbacks, and just like make sure you really believe in the cause that you're trying to champion. Jane and I both had a student named Kata, and she was taking drum lessons from me and singing and ukulele lessons from Jane. And she was just like this like adorable little ball of energy. And I would you could tell that she really loved the instrument. Like I would ask her to play something, and she's like, oh yeah, I did practice this, and she'd be better at it. In the grand scale of things, I don't think it had like a huge impact. I don't think most people around us really know what it is. But I think the fact that it had such a big impact on the people who were a part of it, the kids who were a part of it, who took music lessons, and who built bonds with their teachers, and also the teachers who got to experience that satisfaction of helping someone else become better at the craft. I think that's where the value of it really lies. Not necessarily in the scale, but just in how deeply it affected people. Instrument for like 2 or more years, and you think that you can help a little kid learn scales, you should join Notelove.